Well, when it comes to work, I enjoy working. I mean, yes, music and entertainment, producing, writing, those are like my main interests. Those are the things that I actually enjoy doing. You never really want to get involved in doing something that you don't love doing. But when it comes to work, I do work. Contrary to popular belief, I am one independent artist that I enjoy work as well. When I have to, I do work. I go out and I work just like any and every other person. I've actually worked in education. I've worked in clerical offices. I worked for government agencies. I've worked I've worked in places like retail chains, the food industry, cafeterias. I mean, I can honestly say that, I work diligently with my music, and I also try to have that balance. Work is fun. It is fun. It's all about what you make it with any type of career, any type of path that you take. It's really up to you. Actually, when people, coworkers, or employers know and find out about me being an entertainer, um, it does change the work environment a lot. Sometimes it works against me, and sometimes it works in my favor. Most times it does work, against me. It's always like the whole conflict of interest type thing, or maybe it's just that people, they just have a stereotypical mind in general. They assume that if you're into music, you have these ways or those ways. I'm just an entertainer in general. I can't help what I love to do. I also can't help what I'm good at doing. But when I work, I work. When I come to work, I come to work. So yes, working is something that I do, and it is something that is very challenging. It's challenging to balance the two. It's like, you know I see myself for who I am, and people see me for who they want me to be. You know. Parenting. Well, for those of you who don't know, I am a parent. I have two daughters. My oldest is an adult now, and my youngest, she is shortly behind her older sister. Um, you know what? Parenting is a top priority in my life. Oh, I messed up. Parenting is a top priority in my life. Um, even though I love to make music and I love to um, promote, network, market, it's still imperative, as a parent, to make sure that my children's needs are met. So if it requires me to go out and work more than I need to, then I will. If it requires me to sacrifice going to work, not going to work, sacrifice some hours, to help with homework or to help with anything that they might need, just to make sure that they're okay mentally, emotionally, physically. Then yeah, being a parent, it's my top priority. Yes, I did music. I've been in the music room before I became a parent, but I just feel like, you bring a child into the world, it's your responsibility to um, try to give them suitable means to live and survive as best as you possibly can. So parenting is definitely a priority for me. It's fun. I must say, it's lots of fun. I am family oriented. I am family oriented. I am family oriented. Um, even though I live a distance from my relatives, the family that I grew up with, that we're now, we're like distant relatives now because I don't get to see them every day. I don't get to speak to them every day, but in hindsight, we all know we're okay. We're all, there's just there's a bond that you have with your relatives, your family, that no matter where you are, you're able to communicate somehow, some way. I think it's spiritual. But I'm very family oriented. I love the whole idea of having a husband, wife. The marriage, the whole marriage thing, where there's the spouse and the children. Not there yet. It's definitely on my to-do list, but for parenting, I just, when it comes to parenting, family oriented, I think it's really important for my children to know who their relatives are, regardless of how much or how little they can see them. I think that it's just good for them to know, it's not just us three. There's other people as well. So yeah, that's very important as well. Of course, parenting is like any job. It requires strategy. It requires patience. It requires commitment. It requires diligence. It requires skills. You do have to become better and better at it every day. My one thing that I always tell people is, especially when it comes to parenting, is it's your first day. Every day is your first day being a parent with your child. It doesn't matter if you have a child and have a child and have a child. Every day is your first day. Tomorrow is your first time experiencing tomorrow, is what I'm saying. So you and your child, or you and your children may wake up and you may have a routine, but it's not going to go the exact same way every single day. There's going to be something different. There's going to be different conversations. There's going to be different reactions. There's going to be different meals prepared. So with that in mind, it's like any other job. You have to have patience. You have to be willing to adapt to change. You have to understand that you have to understand that that there are going to be lots of wonderful and wondrous times as well. So I love parenting. I've always wanted a son. I have two girls. I've always wanted to have a son, but I love them, and I'm perfectly fine with having my girls. The types of work, well, I have different licenses and certificates. Degree, I have a degree. So, I've worked pretty much well, I won't say all my life, but I used to babysit when I was much younger. I did go on to, I remember working in retail. I remember working retail. I've worked retail. I worked fast food. I've worked offices. I've worked in government office settings. I've done lots of office clerical administrative work. I've worked in warehouses, not on a forklift, but I've worked in warehouses. I've worked in payroll department. I've worked in hair salons. I've worked in um, physical therapy offices. I've worked for body shops, auto body shops. You know, yeah, yeah. I managed one when I was 17. It was really fun. Um, yeah, I've worked in malls. Yeah, I can definitely say I worked in education. So yeah, I've even done things like clean state buildings, clean stadiums, and I've worked in hospitals, cooking and things like So I do have a diverse work history. So it's not just like, oh, I only can sing. When in between, it actually fuels me. It fuels me to get different perspectives of work environments and people's lifestyles. It helps me with my writing process because it helps me understand that, hey, listen, certain types of people are at work at such and such of a time, and when they're done, and this is what their day is like, they may not have any time to listen to music or just go online or whatever the case may be. They may miss all the album stores. So it's a whole lot to take in, and then you get to see how a lot of people are classified. My music is my art. It honestly is an art. Just the way an artist has a canvas and takes the paint and just kind of just flows with it according to the mood, according to the story that needs to be told. The same goes for my music. When I create my tracks, I am going for a certain flow. It might be a certain message that I want to portray. It may be that it just may be the sound of the track that makes me say, this sounds like a love song. This sounds like a song where someone is pouring out. But yeah, I love making music. And again, I'm like my own Picasso, I'm my own Michelangelo. It's just I write, I produce the tracks, I write. It doesn't have any specific order. I just do it, and then the sounds they come together. I like it, and I share it. So that's where I am with the music. It is my art. It is my craft, and it's just like when you go to a museum, you may take a look at someone's art, something that they worked hard at, something that they it highly admire, and you might be like, you know. So I respect it when it's given to me too. There's people who are just like, oh, it could be better, or this, that, and the third. But it's like if it's my artwork and I like it, it's already at its best. So that's how I look at it, and it's not my quality of it is at the level that I want it to be. So that's how come I just keep making it. I keep making it, and when people ask to hear it, then I share it. There's a whole bunch of songs I've made that are just for my own ears. So I love it. It is my art. It is my art. People do think that my music are like my exact personal stories. Like if I put a song out about breaking up, they think I just broke up with somebody. It's funny, it's really funny. A lot of the times my ideas come from things that I hear of other people's situations, things that I see. One time I wrote a song after watching like a Jerry Springer show and Maury's, how they go back to back. So it's just, it's like what I do is I put myself in the position of the storyline, and then I give my perspective of how I would handle it if that were my situation. I do prefer writing songs and material that are uplifting, that give people encouragement, but we live in a world that gives you a little bit of both. So I do find myself, for the sake of art, telling the story of what's going on in society according to how I see it and according to my perspective. So But that's what I love. That's what I love about it. But no, it's not my personal stories. Um, if I ever, if I'm ever in a relationship, I honestly can say there I've been in a relationship where, where, the dude I was with at the time, he was like, write songs about me and put it out there. And I'm just like, oh, it's uncomfortable because, it's personal. I'm a very personal person. And I like my music to just be the art that it is. But if the day ever comes where I really feel that, that I'm gonna write about somebody like at that velocity, then then that's how it's gonna go. But right now, no. Right now, I'm just like, just let me make my music. I almost snorkeled. It has a different sound. I mean, it has a different vibe, but I still see how it relates to some of the current music that you hear. I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to classical music. I listen to jazz. I listen to blues. I listen to R&B soul. I do listen to neo soul. I listen to oldies but goodies. There are some alternative songs that I know, some rock songs that I know, hip hop, rap, club, house. Certain trap songs that I know, some West Coast sounds, some Midwest, like international music as well. Um, people do not believe me, but when I was a kid, I had a radio, and I couldn't get FM. It was really hard for me because the antenna was broken. So guess what? I used to listen to AM radio, and on AM radio, you got three things to listen to. You can either listen to the static on, or you can listen to a newscaster just talking away, talking, and when you're a young kid, whatever they're talking about is so irrelevant because you're like, okay, what are you talking about? And then the last option, very, very rare, but you'd hear like foreign music, international music. I'm talking about drums tapping, I'm talking about homemade instruments, whistling sounds, and just little click clacking sounds, and just different rhythms, biorhythms, nothing that I've ever heard of before. If I turn on a song, a hip hop song, everything it's it's kind of repetitive for a certain amount of time. Um, but I remember listening to this one song, and I can't say verbatim that was the sound, but it was like a lot of click clacking, and then it was whistling sounds, and then it was no voice, just different sounds and instruments, and it just shifted. And this was a song, and it lasted a very long time. It wasn't like 2-3 minutes. So I can say that I have a very diverse culture, and I do have a very intimate love for music, in the sense that I will listen to different strands and forms and genres, reggae, soca, you know what I'm saying, salsa, merengue, like I said, like you name it, reggaeton, you name it, I have more than likely have heard of it. Um, I've heard emo. Yeah, I've heard emo. So yeah, I listen to all kinds of music, and even if I don't know who the artists are, or if I don't know their songs, if I hear a song once, I will recognize it if I happen to hear it again. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty much the same with artists as well. If they have a unique sound that stands out, I pretty much, if I hear them again, I can be able to say that's such and such. Mm-hmm. Especially if I hear their music a lot. Marriage. Well, honestly, I long for the day that I am found by my husband, whoever this wondrous and wonderful man will be. Whoever this wonderful and wondrous man will be, I long for the day that he comes into my life, if he isn't already in my life, but comes into my life at the velocity of that a husband would be. I remember when I was like a little girl, marriage was so far from me, but watching TV and things like that, I just knew I would get married. Things didn't go so smoothly when I actually became of age, the dating world. So I'm not so much into dating and stuff, but marriage is something that is just as much of a goal for me in life as my career, educational, and like my goals in life. It's something that I look forward to. I look forward to the day. Um, I'm gonna be a great wife. I know that for sure. I'm a very clean woman, very kind, very caring, extremely understanding. I'm versatile, I'm flexible, so I'm willing to work with the person. You know, um, I just believe I have the qualities that I just believe that of myself. I believe I have everything a good man could ever want in a woman when it comes to marriage. Um, and I'm sure that his mother and father would feel safe knowing that he's with someone like myself. Um, and if he has siblings, they would feel comfortable too. So yeah. Um, Extremely traditional. Very traditional. Um, when I mean like marriage, like I'm into the traditional marriage where the man will propose, he will court her prior to proposing. I don't really have a set time frame. Like some people are like, oh, I have to be with this person for X amount of years or months or whatever. I don't have a timeline. It's just that I have an order that I do expect. I do expect to be courted, in the sense of us taking our time as friends, getting to know each other, not engaging in any type of intimate sexual affairs with one another or other people during that time that we are embarking on our marriage. So yeah, like going out, having fun, having the opportunity to meet each other's close relatives and family and friends, just to make sure um, that he and I, that's what we want to do. So I'm okay. I'm okay with the process. I'm a very patient person, so I can wait. But I do have a limit. Like I wouldn't wait. I would not wait more than 3 years to marry a person, and I certainly wouldn't wait past 5 years. 5 years, if I were in a relationship with someone and I reached like 5 years, I'm out the door. I don't care. We could be perfectly fine together in many ways. I'm out the door. But yeah, I'm very traditional. I do want to wear a white dress. I know a lot of people say you shouldn't wear a white dress unless you're actually a virgin. And I'm like, to my husband, I will be a virgin because I will have never had embarked on, a moment with him. So I do want to wear white. If not cream, ivory, bone, something. Um, um, but yeah, I don't know if I want to have a big wedding. I don't know if I want to have a small wedding. I think that I'm a very private person, so I think I would want a private wedding. But I also, like I said, I'm very traditional. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to marry someone who, like, we are like a mirror effect on one another. Like, we have a lot of similarities in our preferences. But my main thing when I do get married is I want to have a traditional marriage. Definitely don't want to get married for the sake of business or just because, so I could say, oh, I'm married to someone. Look at my ring. look at all the gifts he buys me. Nah, I want someone who I genuinely love and who genuinely loves me, and we're genuinely in love. And we grow old together. We do things together. What influences me when I make my music is life, my goals, other people music. Like there's a whole bunch of things, but like life influences me. The things that I see, some of the things I experience. So it doesn't necessarily have to be going on when I write the song. It could just be something I've seen. It could be something I've watched, something I've heard. It could just be that general that I'm just like and then I just write about it. But yeah, but I like Lauren Hill, Queen Latifah. I mean, I love all the Jersey heads, male and female. If you make music and you're from Jersey, of course, I support you. Um, I love a lot of different types of music. So for me, um, it depends on my mood. Like I like 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? I like Nas, you know what I'm saying? Um, I like to hear certain songs from Biggie, Tupac, I love me some reggae, so I love me some Beanie Man, Elephant Man, I love me some Lady Saw, I love me some classical Bob Marley throwback, so I like that new wave music too, you know what I'm saying? I like certain types of pop, music, I love some of the greats that everybody else likes, the same songs that everybody else is dancing to and jigging to, you know. Yeah. Yeah, goals, art, imagination. My imagination is very vivid. So, sometimes I'll be like, I wanna write about this, I wanna write about that, and I just go for it. I did a song called I Guess, and I wanted it to be like a country rock song with a hint of Beyonce. And to me, when I wrote the song and when it came out, the finishing product, to me, that's what my label is called Pie Kit. So for me, I'm always baking up some hot tracks. In order for you to bake things, you have to mix ingredients. You have to mix the perfect ingredients to get the perfect outcome and make it the right time and all that stuff. So for me, that's what it is. I mean, again, it's my imagination running wild, and I love it. I love it. I mean, I love the sounds I hear. And I just love how the whole aura goes. But yeah, my influences are, my life influences me, the things that I go through in life. It makes me say, you know what, I want to go write a song. Music is a therapy for me. I love to sing it. I love to write it. I love to hear it. I love to be a spectator, like for performances, like, things of that nature. So I'm not always the one that wants to be singing or performing. I actually enjoy being the spectator and letting other people display their talents as well. The internet. Woo, my best friend. My only no, I'm just kidding. I love the internet. I mainly use it to network, to promote, and of course, just to stay in contact with my relatives, my family, and close friends of mine. A lot of people think that I just sit around and just I'm on the internet and that, but I'm like I'm mobile. I keep a lot of files on my phone devices. I send them to myself in different ways so that way if I'm on the go, when I'm on the go, I can access them and not only have access to them, but I know how to go and download something. I post it in different places so I could download it and get the link. So And then I also take advantage of the scheduled postings for a lot of pages and things like that. So yeah, but I primarily use it to promote a network. I'm not one of those people who have, like when you have people on your social network and then you're on your page because you didn't slept with them all. No, no. I probably have like one person on my social page that I might have slept with. I'm being for real. Maybe one, maybe one. But anyway, but no, like I honestly, I just, I just I use it as a tool to network, stay in contact with my relatives, my family, my friends. Just, because people don't call anymore. Everybody is so engulfed in the cyber world, and so it's like I feel forced to be there. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't be on there except to tell people, "Hey, this is what I'm doing in case if you want to check it out." Other than that, that's all I use it for. But I think the internet is a great platform in general when it comes to reaching a vast majority of people and a diverse audience when it comes to the music. I have international supporters, people from all over the globe: Thailand, South America, North America, Canada, Switzerland, Australia, all throughout Europe, like literally Africa, all around, and it makes me feel good. There's people in the Asian countries, there's people in the Indian countries, there's people everywhere. I love it. I personally love it. It really makes me feel like that I've had an impact on people. Well, when it comes to trust issues, definitely a work in progress. I'm like two sided. Sometimes I trust too much, and then sometimes there's that issue of distrust. And when that's the situation, there's not too much you can do. That's just how it is. When it comes to relationships, friendships, businesses, um, you know, the truth of the matter is when you've experienced life a little bit, you are bound to have reasons, and that's where I'm at right now. I have my reasons. Initially, I give everybody reasonable doubt. Like basically benefit of doubt, rather. Like, I don't assume anything bad of you. I have to see for myself that you say, do, or are bad. But I also trust my instincts. So if my instincts are like, then of course I have nothing to do with you. But when a person is giving me reason to distrust them, then of course I can't deal with them anymore. And then, it kind of makes me not want to really trust other people, but I don't hold what someone else does against the next person. Everyone gets their own clean slate. So, with that being said, I'm a work in progress. Yeah. Mule, I love Smule. I remember I first went on Smule. Smule, for those who don't know, is a karaoke app. A karaoke app and website. A karaoke app and website. The first time I went on Smule, I didn't know what I was doing. Everyone thinks that karaoke is so easy, but karaoke is rather challenging. You have to know the song, you have to read the words along, you have to sing the notes, and you have a choice while you're singing to sing it more like the artist that you're replicating or your very own way. Now, if you're doing it by yourself, that kind of alleviates a lot of the complexity. However, if you're doing it with someone, you're singing along with someone, a group, a duet, anything, then it brings back the challenge of it all. I do have a Smule. I have two Smule pages, but my main one is Shantae SE. I have over 500 recordings, and most of them are duets. I like to sing with other people. I like to do my Smule with the other artists. First of all, because I love interacting with other people. Smule gives me that opportunity to do that. And another thing is, it's just fun. It's just fun in general. I try to share them all so that way people can hear them and be able to just be able to enjoy it at their own discretion. So I do like Smule. I do find it challenging, and it's rather addictive. So I just keep going back and keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. But I really enjoy it. And lots of variety of songs, and people send me songs I haven't even never heard before. They send me songs in foreign languages. They send me songs that's beyond my age group. They send me songs all kinds, and I love it. But I actually try to learn some of the songs that I'm not familiar with. So or there's songs that I've heard before, or artists that I'm familiar with, but I might not know the song or that as well. And I'll still try. Sometimes I'll live it and act like I was just trying to hook the song up, and I'll be like, I know that song. But I find it really fun. And I just think in general that, it's great if you're a singer, if you're a performer, it's good rehearsal. It's an easy way to have a rehearsal because the music is already there. You already have people to interact with, and you can do it. You can sing it as many times as you want to. So for me, I try to balance it out. It's a rehearsal tool for me, but it's also fun and leisure at the same. But it's also fun and leisure at the same time for me. And no, I'm not trying to endorse Mule. I'm just speaking on the fact that I'm always on Smule. I keep the app on my phone, and then when I've gotten to the max of smuling, then I take it off. I take a break, and then when I'm ready again, I come back for more. And lots of times I end up singing the exact same songs over and over, just with new people. But it's all cool. I like to follow the people who make the tracks as well as the people who I've done the duets with. Just out of support and just letting them know that, I do acknowledge them, and that it's really fun. And hopefully, hopefully they acknowledge me back. Singing and acting. I've when I was younger, like a young girl, I always wanted to like do the school plays because they weren't necessarily musicals because the choir sang the songs, and then on stage you could sing along too. So I guess it was like a musical, but I never got casted. I would go to the auditions, and then eventually I stopped. I remember, I think I was in the second grade when I stopped going for the auditions. I was highly insulted, and I felt like there was a lot of favoritism taking place. But I just didn't think it was fair, and but I accepted it for what it was. I was always in the choir. I got to middle school age, choir. Got to high school age, choir. I'm an adult now, and I actually aspire to write my own stage plays, musicals, not just stage plays, but musicals. I want to write the content of the plays. I want to write the songs. I want to produce them. I want to cast my own characters. I want to really get into that. I just have been trying to network with the right people to help me get the right flow going, because I write all the time, whether I'm writing books, whether I'm writing songs, whether I'm writing poems, whether I'm just freestyle writing. So So for me, I would love to. I actually want to give it a test run and be in someone's stage play. And I actually have someone in mind. So I'll be reaching out to her booking agent to see how that will work for me. And I also have another person in mind that I really look forward to reaching out to as well to see if he can get me into his projects. But it's definitely, I would like to at least do 1 to 5 stage plays of my very own. I would love for my books that I write to be turned into blockbusters, put on screen. I would love to see that because when I write, I'm a visualist and I see things and I'm just like, I want to see this. Like, I want to see it played out in front of me, you know? You know? So, yeah. It's just cool. But, yeah, I never got casted when I was a kid. And, you know, it did play a toll on me. You know, when you don't get picked, you know, and you're a kid, you feel bad. And I noticed that the same people got picked all the time, and I'm just like, wow. So it is what it is, though. I have no hard feelings, but I just look forward to the day where I can take those skills that never got acknowledged and actually put them to use. Not only put myself in a position where I'm in my own stage plays and in other people's stage plays, but put myself in a position where I am the director, I'm the director, I am the writer, you know, I'm the head honcho, you know. So I look forward to those days. Um, yeah, I mean, well, I did be okay. Well, I did become a mom when I was 19. So motherhood is it's a very big responsibility of life that I took on at a much younger age than I intended and expected for myself. But I have no regrets on becoming a mother at a young age. Um, I I do admit that it slowed the process of where I thought I would be, but it hasn't and it didn't stop me. And I think that is something that people need to understand. You know, I'm not advocating people to go out and have, you know, children without marriage or before a certain age. And I'm not saying shame on anyone who does. I'm just saying that if that is your situation, if that becomes your situation, there's nothing that can hold you back but yourself. So with that being said, I embrace motherhood. Like, I'm really still young to myself, so sometimes I wonder if I'm going to have another child or more children. So you know, there's thoughts out there. There's definitely thoughts out there, and I hope that if anything, I hope that I'll be in a position to, you know, just do what needs to be done if I need to become a mother, you know, go through the steps again. So yeah, a lot of my projects, I'm very hands-on with my projects, spontaneous and very outlandish. So yes, I'm very hands-on when it comes to my projects. I enjoy working with people. I love collaborating, but the truth of the matter is when you begin working with other people, of course, that brings upon legalities, even if you're not doing anything illegal. It's just that there is a process when you start bringing other people in. So a lot of the times, I'm very hands-on on my own projects. For instance, my websites, I design them myself. I create my logos myself. The content, I really just try to be hands-on as possible. Even when it comes to creating my music, I create the songs, I write them, I perform them. When I have to perform, I edit them so that way I can have background vocals or instrumental with background vocals. I do use different mastering services because I don't know how to master. I am self-taught. I taught myself how to engineer my music. So every day I'm learning, but at the same time, it doesn't matter what career path anyone takes. If you want to be good, you should always be learning and taking it more, and always present yourself as the professional that actually is the expert. So yeah, I'm very hands-on with my projects, and I never really toss out a project unless I see no reason for me to use it any further. But that's very rare that ever happens. The road, the road that I take in life hasn't been easy, and I don't expect it to be easy. I appreciate my challenges. I've always faced adversity with courage. I try my best to overcome them reasonably. Um, I definitely like to keep good people, supportive people in my circle. People that I feel are draining, who like to drain you out, or just kind of take away from uh, the fun of life. I just kind of stay away from it. I know everyone has their own reasons for being the way that they are, and with that in mind, I do accept that. But for me, it's my way or the highway. So if it's not the way that I want to do it, then I probably won't do it. Unless I'm in agreement of it. But I just wanted to take this time. I know that my reality, the first series is coming soon, and I just want to take the time to thank all the people who've ever been there for me, and anyone who will be there for me in the future, regarding if I ever need them. But for people who've been there in the past, I'm talking about from letting me sleep in your house, sleep on your floor, sleep on your couch, sleep in, whether we're relatives or friends, letting me sleep, in the spare rooms, people, churches, allowing me to get food from your food pantry, government services. Thank you for approving my EBT. Thank you for approving my housing vouchers. Things that I had to go through. Thank you for approving my financial aid when I was trying to go to school. Just all of the things, all of the different phases that I've gone through. People don't know there were times when I didn't have a roof over my head, even with my kids. So it's very challenging to know that really is something that happens in this world. I just think, I thank everybody who took the time to ever stop and try to help me if they ever thought that I needed help. And I always tell people, just because I come across as a very happy and genuine person, it doesn't mean that I'm not experiencing things in life as well. It's part of life that you experience, and I always tell people, if you're not experiencing anything in life, you're not living. You have to go through things. and I mean it's the joys and pains of life and living. So I have been through things, and I'm appreciative of my experiences. And I you know I definitely um, I just look at it as part of life. It's, well, when it comes to work, I enjoy working. I mean, yes, music and entertainment, producing, writing. Those are like my main interests. Those are the things that I actually enjoy doing. You never really want to get involved in doing something that you don't love doing. But when it comes to work, I do work. Contrary to popular belief, I am one independent artist that I enjoy work as well. When I have to, I do work. I go out and I work just like any and every other person. I've actually worked in education. I've worked in clerical offices. I work for government agencies. Um, I've worked I've worked in places like retail chains, of the food industry, cafeterias. I mean, I can honestly say that, I work diligently with my music, and I also try to have that balance. Work is fun. It is fun. It's all about what you make it with any type of career, any type of path that you take. It's really up to you. Actually, when people, coworkers, or employers know and find out about me being an entertainer, it does change the work environment a lot. Sometimes it works against me, and sometimes it works in my favor. Most times it does work, against me. It's always like the whole conflict of interest type thing, or maybe it's just that people, they just have a stereotypical mind in general. They assume that if you're into music, you have these ways or those ways. I'm just an entertainer in general. I can't help what I love to do. I also can't help what I'm good at doing. But when I work, I work. When I come to work, I come to work. So yes, working is something that I do, and it is something that is very challenging. It's challenging to balance the two. It's like, you know I see myself for who I am, and people see me for who they want me to be.